Hello. I'm Dr. Guy. Basically, I've got this problem. You see, I've got this YouTube channel, and I'm trying to show these people with their near-death experiences, and I think some of the strongest support of this phenomena is the individuals themselves. As a psychiatrist, I've interviewed a lot of them, over 100 of them actually, and I'm pretty impressed with their stories. But every time, only a small fraction of the stories I record actually make it on my YouTube channel. YouTube kind of yanks them a lot. And so I'm going to try some creative ways of getting the content onto my YouTube channel without totally violating the copyright thing. So what I'm doing is I'm adding extra footage to the clips, and by adding my own footage, I'm hoping that they'll let me keep the content on the programs that I put on my YouTube channel. So anyway, I brought my flat screen TV out here in my backyard so that I can show you my YouTube stuff. Okay, so these are basically clips from I Survived Beyond and Back, and hopefully with the extra material here, they'll allow me to keep it on the channel. So here goes.
As they cut me open and started to take the baby, I said, "I'm dying." I knew I was going to die. Because I just popped right out from being alive to now, I'm dead. I'm dead. It was at that time that I rose above my body, and I was looking down, and there was pandemonium, and everyone was screaming, and the doctor was screaming, "Sew her up, sew her up. We have no pressure. We lost her, we lost her." And I remember looking at everyone and wondering, what is wrong? I thought, I'm fine. I don't know why they're all acting crazy down there. As I looked around the room, I saw these silver cords that are attached to each person's solar plex and attached to one another.
I had no clue as to what was going on. It was either a doctor or a nurse who told me that she had a reaction and that they were working on her, and that she would be coming out in a little while, but they weren't specific as to time.
They were thin silver cords, almost like a thick piece of wire. Each one was attached to another, like a spider web. And I could feel each person in there. I could feel all their emotions, everything they were thinking. It was crazy. It was great. I was more interested in that than my own body. And it was at that moment I heard a very loving voice next to me, a loving, radiant voice that said, "Kathy, it's okay. Go up to the light." I heard a very loving voice next to me that said, "Kathy, it's okay. Go up to the light." and I call it a he. It was a male voice. And I started to surge up this tunnel. Almost like G-forces is the only way I can explain it. It was a wonderful feeling. I was bathed in love, in this magnificent love. Everything is intensified and magnified. It was like you're watching high-definition television on steroids. I was heading towards a bright light. It was beautiful. I knew I was going home. It was at that moment that I turned to see this young, radiant woman coming towards me. And I remember looking at her and thinking, you look familiar to me, but how could you? And it was at that moment that she said, Catherine? I said, yes. She says, I'm your grandmother, Catherine. I thought to myself, can't be. She committed suicide before I was born. I turned to see this young, radiant woman coming towards me. She said, Catherine, I'm your grandmother. I thought to myself, can't be. She committed suicide before I was born.
Finally, the doctor said there were some complications. She was a little excited, or she had a reaction. That's the term they use. She had a reaction. But at the same time, the doctor said that she'll be okay. I just went along with it. I believed that everything was legitimate.
I never met my grandmother, and she had told me that the moment that she had hung herself, she regretted it. She said that she had asked for forgiveness and asked to go to the light, and she made it. I could feel her warmth and her love, and I just wanted to run to her, and I did. She had told me that I was going to have to go through my own life review. She said she would be there with me. And then it begun. My life review was very difficult. It took me from my birth up to the time that I died. I was raised by a father that was abusive verbally and physically. I came before my father many times in my life review. And I relived the beatings with him. I felt not only my pain, which I thought was bad enough, but I felt his pain. And I never realized that he felt pain doing that. It was as if someone took a knife and stuck me in the heart. It was so painful. After that, I came in front of my grandmother again. She said, Kathy, you're gonna have to go back. It's not your time. And it was at that moment I came down so hard in my body it hurt. I remember the first time I opened my eyes for a minute, and I looked around and thought, oh no, I don't want to be here.
When they actually let me go see her, it was about 2 hours later, and she was still in the post-operative room. And when I saw her, she was in a very physical, shaky state where she was reacting to something, and she was coming off some kind of medication.
It hurt. I felt the density, the heaviness, the pain. I was not happy.
She saw me, but she wasn't really aware of what was going on around her. So I just stayed by her.
I was so happy to see her, and I knew that it was all worthwhile. It was several days later that the doctor came in, and they had to take a look at my sutures, and I told him, I repeated back the entire conversation in the operating room. His jaw about dropped. They said, that's impossible. You could not have known this because you were flatlined. And I said, yes. I was above watching all of you. I feel I've grown in leaps and bounds, not maturity-wise, but spiritually. To be able to love unconditionally and also to forgive. My father had cancer. Having a nursing background, I knew how to care for him. In his dying moments, excuse me, he had asked me what it was like to die. He wanted to know everything. He held me in his arms, and for the first time, told me how much he loved me. And he never meant to do all those things to me. I was able to share my death experience with him and put him at ease. And I feel so blessed that I was able to go back and be with him in his dying moments and help him to cross over. It's given me peace in my life, and I have no fear of death. No fear of death, because I know I'll be going home.